Well, good evening. We can thank the pandemic for a creative solution of being outside in a beautiful facility. So we're very grateful for the opportunity. I'm Dr. Brock Ryman. I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs, and I welcome you to tonight's graduation, Spring 2021. It's been a long journey, hasn't it, graduates?
Oh my goodness, yes.
I guess one thinks so. Yeah, it's been a long journey.
Longest journey of my life. There's Fran over here. Where's Fran?
On behalf of our college family, I'd like to welcome you and extend a warm welcome from our faculty, our staff, and our administrations. This evening marks the time to celebrate an accomplishment that has taken quite a while to achieve. Both in the room tonight as well as streaming live, some of you may have friends, family members attending that way. We welcome you also. Thank you for attending the ceremony. We encourage you to join with us to celebrate with our graduates. At this time, I'd like to invite our Dean of Nursing, Dr. Joanne Donenworth, and our Dean of Foundational Education and Health Professions, Teresa Benzel, to the stage. They're going to discuss the significance and history of nursing and radiography pinning.
Good afternoon. I'm Joanne Donenworth. I'm the Dean of Nursing. We cannot talk about the history of nursing without discussing Florence Nightingale. I am the instructor of the Florence Nightingale class here at Aultman, Nursing 370, Notes on Nursing. So sit back and relax, and I'll tell you everything you ever wanted to know about Florence Nightingale. I'm teasing. Florence was born to a very wealthy family, and she learned at an early age that she wanted to be a nurse, and that was absolutely not acceptable with her family. Nursing was not a profession of honor, so they said no. It took her years to wear down her family, and at the age of 24, she became a nurse. She practiced nursing for about a year, and then was approached to take a team of nurses to the Crimean War to start a hospital for the Army because many soldiers were dying. So she took a team of nurses to the Crimean War and found that the situation there was very bleak. She immediately initiated sanitation, increased personal hygiene and infection control, started a kitchen for improved nutrition, and the death rates went down. She made her rounds at night carrying a lamp. That's what they had at that time. When the war was over, England won. There was a great celebration in England, and she was invited to attend the parade. She chose not to attend the parade. She got off the boat and walked from the dock to her home. She took a bath, and she went to bed. She said she was tired and wanted to go to bed, so she missed the whole celebration. Shortly after that, she wrote the book on nursing, Notes on Nursing, which is our founding book. She's written many books. She started a couple schools of nursing. She started a hospital, and she's written a lot of articles and publications about nursing theory. So she is the mother of modern nursing. When she had her school of nursing, she decided she would present the graduates with a Medal of Excellence to reward them for their hard working during nursing school. Since 1916, this tradition has continued here in the United States. All student nurses receive a medal, and the Medal of Excellence has been transformed over the years to the nursing pin. So this pin is typically given during a pinning ceremony, and that's what we're experiencing here today. Teresa.
On November 8, 1895, Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen discovered X-rays, and within 6 months of this discovery, physicians began using radiography to diagnose and treat illnesses. Early on, the effects of radiation were unknown, and many of the pioneers developed cancer, lost limbs, and died because of unsafe practices. It wasn't until nearly 20 years after the discovery that precautions such as lead aprons, film badges were developed to protect patients and workers.
Now that you know a little bit about nursing and radiography professions and the history of Aultman College, let's discuss more the history of the pin. The pin is worn as a symbol of the school that you graduate from. Traditionally, these pins are presented to the new graduates by the faculty members as a welcome into the profession. Throughout the years, each program has chosen a pin to represent their history and dedication to the chosen profession. The pin you'll receive today has blue and green enamel, which represents the colors of Aultman College. In addition, you'll see that there's a lamp on the pin, and that is to represent Florence Nightingale, the lady with the lamp. And the books that you'll see on the pin represent the knowledge that you've gained here at Aultman College.
Radiography graduates, the X-ray tube is pictured because it is the single most important component of the radiographic system that produces radiation. The pin is a symbol of the medical history of radiography and the education you have received at Aultman College. At this time, we ask radiography student Deborah Corser to come to the podium. Once Deborah finishes, I would then like to invite graduate Jennifer Schulz-Tice to come to the podium. Both of these students have a passionate story to share about why they chose to become healthcare providers.
Good evening. I would once again like to welcome you to Aultman College's Spring Commencement Ceremony of 2021. Our journey to this point in our lives has been quite the adventure, to say the least. I remember one instance while talking to Mrs. Link where she gave me the advice of, quote, enjoying the ride the radiography program takes you on. But neither her nor I would have ever imagined the ride we've been on as a cohort. But after much hard work and many clinical hours, we have finally made it. I not only speak for myself, but also on behalf of the class that had it not been for some people, we would not be here. From the genuine care of our professors to the invaluable instruction from techs and clinical instructors and the never-ending support from family and friends, you've all had a vital role in my peers and I's educational journey, and for that, I thank you. As for my classmates, I think what best describes us is a quote from playwright Eugene Ionesco, which states, "Ideologies separate us, dreams and anguish bring us together." We've been brought together by the dream or goal to be an X-ray tech, and by the anguish of the program, and boy, have we endured anguish. Beyond all that has occurred, I just want to say I'm proud and honored to be graduating alongside you. And I not only anticipate seeing great things from each of you, I expect it. Before we all go our separate ways into different hospitals and facilities, I want to leave you with a question. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want you to think about that for a moment, or as Mrs. Williams would say, let that marinate in your mind. However, I know you're probably wondering, Deborah, what are you talking about? In case you haven't noticed, we're currently graduating. I already know what I want to be. Let me explain. I want you to think back to the first time you were asked that question, and your response as well. Perhaps your response was one of grandeur, or maybe you didn't know at the time. For me, I had lots of ideas. But it wasn't until 2015 that I finally began to answer that question. This was the year I had my first hospital experience after being diagnosed with a type of lung malformity. The treatment simply required the removal of a portion of my lung. However, things did not go as planned, as the 2-week recovery turned into a long 6-month recovery. And during this time, I distinctly remember a thought I had. I was bound to the hospital room by my chest tube, one arm swollen from a bad IV, the other hand suffering from temporary paralysis, and every breath became painful. It was then I thought to myself, what good can possibly come from this? My original plans had been derailed, and I was surrounded by uncertainty, a situation I know we are now all familiar with. However, it was through this enjoyable experience that I was inspired by the selflessness of those working in my care to pursue a career in the medical field. And furthermore, I discovered the field of radiography due to the scans and x-rays taken this time, which instilled in me a curiosity and interest in x-ray. Yet, even with knowing what career I wanted, I still could not answer the question of what I wanted to be. And here's why. The better question to ask when talking about career choices would be, what are you going to do when you grow up? Because being and doing have two separate meanings. Doing references an action, while being goes a little deeper, as it references a present, state, or condition. I finally figured out what I wanted to do, but what did I want to be? This situation made me realize what I truly wanted to be. I want to be compassionate. I want to be patient. I want to be empathetic. And I want to inspire others to do the same, just as those at the hospital had inspired me. Bad things happen. It's inevitable. But in these seemingly hopeless circumstances, we can find meaning and purpose in our lives. Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl sums this up perfectly by saying, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Throughout life, you are going to face difficult circumstances, whether that be a pandemic or a situation that may occur in your future career. But if we do not go through these challenging occasions, perhaps we would miss out on opportunities to help us grow personally and professionally. So as you leave Aultman College today to venture into the next chapter of your life, I leave you with this. What do you want to be when you grow up? Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Schulteis. When asked to do this speech, I was asked to think about what nursing means to me. This is an interesting question, and coming from someone who is never at a loss for words, this question definitely left me speechless. In a way, I feel like I've been in an estranged marriage with nursing. In the beginning, it was fun, it was exciting, and the honeymoon phase left me wanting more. It was the nursing supplies, the fresh hunter green scrubs that had so much appeal, the new books, the skills, the knowledge. It was fun. It wasn't until after our first year of the relationship, the honeymoon stage seemed to be over. The glory had faded. We went from spending an entire day learning how to wash our hands, and trust me, it's a lot harder than it looks. 200 question exams over theories and concepts that I had never even heard of. I now had trust issues with my newfound relationship. I vividly remember wanting to quit the relationship. Spending hours every single day studying new content, refreshing old skills, only to feel defeated by the end of the day certainly wears on a person. A once thriving relationship, if that. However, I also remember how many instructors talked us off the ledge over and over again, reminding us that it would be worth it and this day would come. Amongst all of the mental anguish and difficulty that we had suffered, I have learned that no textbook can teach you how to cry with a patient. No amount of knowledge or practice can ever prepare you to sit with the grieving family as their loved one takes their last breath. There is nothing that can fully prepare you to run towards the fire, to do everything you can to save the life of an unstable human being. It's instinct, it's passion, and that's what makes nurses so incredible. Thank you to Aultman College faculty and friends for restoring my relationship with one of my truest loves. Thank you for pushing me and never letting me quit, no matter how many times I begged you to pull the plug. Although we have all come to nursing differently, it's mostly for the same goal, to help others. Some of us were born with a divine calling to be a nurse. Some took the long way around, and some found nursing through a life-altering experience. I found nursing in a dark, lonely room at Aultman's Compassionate Care Center. I was 19. My mom was only 44. She was a mother of two, an independent business owner who just didn't have a fair chance. She had stage 4 breast cancer that had metastasized to her bones, and the end was near. It wasn't until this experience that I learned that nurses truly are the hands and feet of the Lord. The nurse who changed my life was a beautiful hospice nurse named Dawn. Every day she checked on me. She made sure that I had eaten, showered, and taken a moment for myself. She spoke to me softly, and she consoled me gracefully. It wasn't until one of my mom's last days, Dawn came in and out a little more frequently. She knew that the end was near. It was a sunny day, and Dawn came sweeping in, opening the curtains to let the sunshine in. She looked at me and said, "Why don't you crawl in bed with your mom and let me take a picture?" And I was appalled. How could this woman want to take a picture of us right now in this horrific state? With tears in my eyes, I agreed. My mom used every last bit of her energy to wrap her arms around me, one of her frail arms pulling me in, and the other hand to pull my head against hers. With tears running down Dawn's cheeks, she told us both to smile, and we did. It was one of the last moments of happiness that we got to share together, all thanks to Dawn. One of my last clinical experiences was at Aultman's Compassionate Care Center, and my heart was in my chest walking through those doors. I shared my experience with the nurse that I was shadowing that day, and she reached out to Dawn, and before she could even remind her of my exact situation, Dawn instantly replied with, "Yes, I will never forget that beautiful family." Her mom told me about the most comfortable pillows that she had found from Dillard's. I remember leaving my shift that day and going to get some for both my kids and myself. I remember thinking outside of these awful circumstances, we would have been very good friends. Tell her I'm so proud of her, and her mom would be too. And that is the heart of a nurse. I want to leave you all with a piece of advice from one of my very last clinical experiences. It was in a dark, dingy basement of a detox center where we got the amazing opportunity to attend an AA meeting. It was life-changing. On our last day of this experience, the counselor asked the group if they had any advice for the students. It wasn't until the last man who so matter-of-factly turned to us and said, "When I think of nurses, I think of mechanics." I don't know why I trust my mechanics so much, but I do. I trust that when I drop my car off, when I drop my kids' cars off, I expect it to be returned better than I found it. And that's the same thing I expect from my nurses. I believe everyone in this group is destined to do great things. If it was not for all of you, I can wholeheartedly say that I'm not sure that I would be standing here. Your drive and motivation have inspired me countless times through the course of the impossible, and for that I thank you. I have seen every single one of you do God's work at the bedside. I have seen some of you to race to sit and console a family member during a code situation where the fate of their loved one was unknown. I have seen many of you take the time to walk with a patient up and down the hallways so that they could escape their four walls of desperation. I share this memory with you so we can all remember that the desperate battles that patients and families fight daily are typically done in silence. I pray that we remember to be kind, to be patient, and to be empathetic. The nursing world will not always be kind to us, but we must remember to be the light to patients during their darkest times. I pray that we never get too busy to hold the hand of the timid, pray with the sick, and advocate for the needy. There will be days where we think we can't do it anymore, and we will wonder why we did it in the first place. In those hard moments, I want you to think back to this proud moment and how far we've come, spending a 3-hour health assessment class listening to apical pulses on mannequins. Congratulations to all the graduates, and especially the first ever BSN class of Aultman College. I'm so proud of you all.
Thank you, Deborah and Jennifer, for sharing your inspiring stories with us tonight. Later in the ceremony, the pinning portion will be combined with a presentation of diplomas. The program pins will be presented by Dr. Diane Gibbs, Chair, Nursing Accreditation and Quality, and Robin Williams, Program Director of Radiography. At this time, I would like to invite President Paddock to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Benzel, and students, thank you. And I have written remarks, but I have to tell you, that one got me. I want you to look outside. And you see that light that's out there. Your mother's very proud. And this is one of those evenings where all of you, as you sit with your family, you can grab their hands and you can pause. And as Deborah shared, it's a moment to be. I had a dear friend, and she always said, "We are human beings. We are not human doings." And I want you to just pause tonight and enjoy, because this is a moment to be, to appreciate all of the work that you have individually put in, to be proud of yourself. And family members, you are part of that journey as well. Friends, those who are joining us on the live stream, the spirits are with us. And I think it's a beautiful night to celebrate, is it not? It is. Well, I serve as the president of Aultman College, and it is my honor to introduce the commencement portion of our ceremony. And we cap off the pinning and the welcome to the profession with a formal confirmation of these hard-earned academic credentials. And we are about to confer some degrees. We happen to have associate's and bachelor's level degree earners tonight who are going to lead our communities to improved health by way of their careers in radiography and nursing. And in case you were curious, if history holds true, these graduates are joining about 4,000 alumni in our ranks. 85% of them stay and serve you and I in Northeast Ohio, with 100% of them being offered jobs and working in their profession within 6 months of graduation. And graduates, you would like to hear this, that after passing their licensure and registry exams at rates far exceeding state and national averages. Your work is ahead of you, but your work is behind you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, and those joining us virtually, you are looking at an elite group of graduates, and we are very, very proud to have them among our ranks. It's also certainly noteworthy that they've completed their studies in the midst of a global pandemic, and only one other graduating generation in 1918 and 1919 could claim this as well. You heard from our deans. We honor our past. It is important, but so is our future. And these students before you have demonstrated an exceptional resilience. And I do not use the word exceptional lightly. You have demonstrated an exceptional resilience and adaptability to conditions that none of us could have projected. And they will be a hallmark of their graduating generation that will be studied, followed, and observed for years to come. What you have already heard, and you will continue to hear from another featured speaker, is that these students are strong. They are fierce. They embody our college values of compassion, integrity, and respect, and are the influential and inspired leaders we ask them to be. Students, it is okay to acknowledge this difficulty. You can even have a little moment over it. But you must continue to use it to propel you forward, because this world needs you. They need your spirit to guide the way, and with your influence, the future is quite bright indeed. So students, as we proceed, I ask you to take a moment, like I said at the beginning, just to honor those that are with you, those that couldn't be with you, and please know how many are joining me invisibly. Your academic leadership team is here. They've carefully designed and delivered your educational experience. You have board members here who are charged with leading Aultman College forward while always keeping you and your experience in mind. Our alumni network is worldwide, and our college's heritage and valuable network is available to you to use to better you in your profession. There are even donors among us and not with us who believe so much in your potential that they gave of their own treasure to send you forward into your dreams. Again, this is one of those life moments in which I encourage you to pause and be present. Soak it in. And as our previous students shared, just be. Enjoy. At this time, I would like to invite our featured speaker, Shannon Albright, to the podium. Shannon is a woman balancing the roles of student, wife to Andrew, mom to 3 girls, healthcare professional. She served as a nurse's aide, a patient care tech, and a staffing specialist. All happen to be with Aultman Health Foundation. It's pretty big shoes, Shannon. Through it all, she has additionally served as a volunteer Heart Walk team captain, and she has received several awards, including Aultman College's Golden Owl and Aultman Hospital You Make a Difference Award and nominee as Outstanding Nursing Student. So let's give Shannon a warm welcome as she comes up to the podium.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you for coming to our commencement ceremony. I'm so thankful that we could all be here and in person. My name is Shannon Albright, as President Paddock told you, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to share a few words with you all. So I sat down to draft this speech, and I realized I had no idea how to put into words what this journey has been for me. So I did what many college students do, and I turned to my good friend, Google. I looked for inspiration from admirable people like Florence Nightingale and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And while I did find many inspirational quotes, nothing quite sparked what I should share with you all here tonight. A week or so later, I was sifting through old emails, and I found a draft I had written for a blog post. Yes, at one point, I thought I would balance nursing school, being a wife and mom to 3, working, and I was going to manage a blog. But I decided to set that aside until now. I found these words that I had written, and I felt a fire light in my soul. This was the inspiration I had been looking for. And I found it within my own words. Seriously, it was so good I even Googled the words to make sure that I hadn't saved it as inspiration from somewhere else. But no, these words, this story, it is my own. I remember writing these words on Christmas break in 2017 after my first semester in the bachelor's program, after a very therapeutic course led by my dear friend and mentor, Dr. Gibbs. I decided I would share an excerpt about my journey with you all here today. I failed. There, I said it. I failed out of nursing school. I missed the mark by 0.38%, less than half of a percent. My almost 1-year-old daughter had just had open heart surgery, and my husband and I had just found out we were pregnant with little girl number 2. And I had just failed them all. Looking back at this time, I felt like the whole world was crashing down on me. And some days, it still feels like I'm recovering from some life-altering injury. But most days, I can say it out loud and in confidence that I failed. People who have never failed might think that failing is the end of a journey. I thought that too until I failed. I didn't know it at the time, but failing was a gift I never expected nor wanted to receive. There were many times when this failure hit me like a slap in the face. Shouldn't you be graduated by now? People would ask. But what I have gained from the gift of failure is something I would never give back. You see, when you fail, you are forced to question who you are, something I never had to do in my entire life. When I failed, I analyzed my life, and what I learned was that nursing was the only profession for me, but I needed a new plan. At the same time, I received an email that said I could enroll into the BSN program here at Aultman. The experience did not get any easier. Nursing school is tough, but I was tougher. A failed exam did not mean I was going to be a bad nurse, nor did it mean that I should not be a nurse at all. Failure meant I needed to do things differently and do better. Failure also meant that I needed to recall why I wanted to be a nurse in the first place. I was reminded of this one day at work. It was a hot summer afternoon, and I sat in the corner of a room while I watched as a husband said his final goodbyes to his wife. The couple had been admitted to the facility at the same time, and one of them wasn't going to make it out. I had worked hard to make it possible for these two to be together for one last time. The fact that I was able to make such a big difference in a small sliver of someone's life, even if just for a moment, was why I wanted to be a nurse, so that I can make moments like this happen for people in some of their most difficult times. So here is my advice. When you determine the why, take that and run with it. If you ever receive the gift of failure, I want you to know that you certainly are not alone. Many before you have received it, and many after you will also. when you are ready, you can take that gift of unplanned, unwanted failure, and you can turn it around into a plan for success. You might be wondering why I'm sharing a story of failure with you all on such a celebratory occasion. However, this is no longer a story of failure. This is a story of great success. And as I stand before all my classmates today, I know that they too have felt a similar story of failure or defeat at one point or another on this journey to be a nurse. Maybe theirs was similar to mine, and maybe theirs was different, but the fact that we are all sitting here today, I know we have been rewarded with the gift of failure that motivated us to succeed. From failure, we have learned to be resilient, to push on. We pushed on not only for ourselves, but for all of you and for all of those in our community who need led to improved health. 4 years ago, my fellow classmates and I pioneered on this journey to be the first graduating class of Aultman's BSN program. As with all journeys, we experienced waves and rough waters in uncharted territory. It was not always smooth sailing. We have studied feverishly, battled through exams, and explored a conceptual nursing curriculum that has enlightened us to look at the bigger picture. We have paved the way, asking questions and offering feedback for those behind us to succeed on their nursing journey. Just when we thought the waters were settling for us, we were hit with a hurricane, that is the COVID-19 pandemic. None of us could have saw this coming, but I have to commend us all on our adaptability. We weathered the storm in an angry sea, unsure if we would ever see land again. But we sailed on, Zooming as the new method of travel. We may have been the pioneers, but we were not on this journey alone. We had experienced explorers in the boat with us in the forms of instructors, staff, administrators, scholarship donors, clinical nursing staff, and the list goes on. I speak for all of us when I say that we cannot thank any of you enough for sharing your time, knowledge, and experience with us. As we collect our diplomas today and embark on a new journey, I know we will carry information passed down from each of you with us as we pioneer our nursing careers. I also want to take time to thank all of the support members sitting in the crowd today and those who could not be here. I know your student could not have survived this journey without your support. I know I couldn't have done it with everyone that helped with babysitting and everything. But I specifically have to shout out my husband, who has basically been a part-time single dad over the last 4 or more years as I made this journey. I couldn't have done it without you. My poor husband has cried with me when I struggled, and he has cheered me on. He has listened to every detail about nursing school. And I can never repay you for the sacrifices that you have made so that I could follow my dreams. I also want to shout out Nick's 3 brothers. I'm sorry that due to COVID restrictions, they couldn't all be here. Please don't be mad at me. So that inside joke brings me to my fellow pioneers. And believe me, after 4 years of nursing school, we have plenty of inside jokes. I want to say how glad I am that I was given the gift of failure so that I could ride along on this journey with all of you. I am so proud of each of you as I have watched as all of you have grown into compassionate, diligent, caring professionals who are going to go out there and make a difference in every patient's life that you touch. I will never forget all of the fun memories that we have made over the last 4 years, and as we enter the workforce, I'm excited to see where we all go and what impacts we make on the field of nursing. I do not expect that the impact from the first graduating class of Aultman's BSN program will be anything less than excellent. So, as we embark on this new journey, possibly without each other, I want to encourage you to look for the gift of failure in any setback that approaches you. I want you to remember your why and what it took you to get where you are. Undoubtedly, you will experience rough waters and challenges in the future. Recall your pioneer days, reset back to the fundamentals, and when you don't know, inquire. I wish all of you the best on the new journey you are about to embark upon. And I am sure that with each new experience, you will find great success. Congratulations, 2021 graduates. We did it.
Thank you, Shannon, for sharing. We are blessed. We are made perfect in our imperfections. That's a fantastic message. Well, as we continue with our commencement ceremony, it's time. We will now verbally confer degrees earned by our students and follow that with the traditional presentation of individual diplomas to individual students. Our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Ryman, who started our ceremony, will lead us through this process. And at this time, I would like to invite him to join me at the podium.
Will the candidates for graduation please rise? Stand up. That's what it means. Madam President, I present to you the graduates eligible for graduation today as recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Directors.
By the power vested in me by the Ohio Department of Higher Education and by the Board of Directors of Aultman College of Nursing and Health Sciences, I confer upon these graduates presented to me the degrees of Associates of Applied Science in Radiography and Bachelors of Science in Nursing. Congratulations. Graduates, you may be seated for now, and we will begin the individual presentations of your diplomas and your program pins. Presenters, you can now join us at your designated areas. Dr. Ryman's going to be announcing the graduates as they process to the stage. Dr. Gibbs and Mrs. Williams will be congratulating graduates and handing out their program pins from the pinning podium. Graduates will be walking across the stage to receive diplomas. And we do have a photographer who will be taking each graduate's picture during this part of the ceremony. And we also invite those who wish to take a photo to do so comfortably, but giving the photographer space. But also we do have a backdrop provided for you in the rear of the facility for after graduation for family photos as well. At this time, I'll turn the program over to Dr. Ryman.
Graduates, when I call your name, you may make your way to the stage. If you've designated a person to present the program pin to you, they can also make their way over to my right. Once you've received your diploma, you will walk over to the pinning table just down the steps, and the appointed person will place the ribbon around your neck with the pin. Then you can both take your seats. Ready to begin? We're going to start with the associates. Applied Associates of Radiography. Excuse me. Samantha Lynn Barbosa. Come on down. Abigail Broadbent. Christina Bundalo. It feels like a long walk from there, I'm sure. Take your time, you're fine. The cords you see being put on by the deans are for honors, and Deborah is summa cum laude. Whoop, excuse me, that was Histrina. I'm sorry. I said the wrong name. Deborah Lee Corser, summa cum laude. Caitlin Elizabeth D'Antonio. Honors of magna cum laude. Taylor Lee Eckleberry. Brooke Madison Faust, cum laude. Lindsay Renee Heather. Destiny Danae Johnson. Ashley Marie Mathis, summa cum laude. Bridget Kathleen Kale Feniger. Brianna Nicole Riley. With honors of cum laude. Logan James Ritchie. Honors of magna cum laude. Melanie Roos, summa cum laude. Carlin Sheets. Sydney Spearhouse. Hannah Tamanin. Delaney Ray Vahila. We're going to do a retake, I think. Nothing's going on the stage, just ignore it. Natalie Ann Wilson, magna cum laude. Alyssa Victoria Zuber. Now for the Bachelors of Science in Nursing, Shannon Albright. Jacob Burns. Olivia Elizabeth Buzzy. Rebecca Ann Copeland. Nicholas Dalton. Megan Donaldson, magna cum laude. Amber Arcadia Emler. Trevor Hoffa. Megan Grace King. Brandy Nicole Marks, magna cum laude. Lisa N. Nunes. Jennifer Nicole Schulteis. Bryn Olivia Shiree. David Tell. Hannah Yusanovich. Savannah Marie Dale, summa cum laude. Madison Lily, cum laude. All of the graduates, would you please rise again? And you may now move your tassel. It gives me great pleasure to present to you the Spring 2021 graduates of Aultman College Nursing and Health Sciences. Congratulations. Thank you. You may be seated as we conclude. Thank you, graduates, families, friends, those joining us both here in the pavilion as well as on the live streaming. It's been my distinct honor today to close the ceremony. Graduates, you are officially alumni of our institution. Congratulations again. As we conclude the ceremony, I'll just remind you, if you'd like to do a picture, in the back there's an arch with the Aultman College logos behind it. And of course, the grounds are beautiful. So thank you for joining us tonight, and have a great evening. Congratulations.